Hey, what's up, y'all? So I'm back with another Road to CCNA video. Just finished a lesson in lab on OSPF Part 2 now. And I got an even better understanding of it, and man, did I learn a lot this lesson. The first thing we learned about was the metric cost and how routes are selected. So there's a formula that's used, which is the reference metric cost, or the reference bandwidth divided by the interface bandwidth. And that's how routes are selected. Now, if the value is less than 1, it is converted to 1, and that can be issues if you're using cables that are faster than a faster Ethernet cable. So to combat this, we learned a command to change the reference bandwidth. Next, we learned about how routers become OSPF neighbors. And so in my last video, when I was explaining it, I was actually wrong because I didn't know, but now I know that it doesn't just go to them sending hello messages and then straight to LSAs. There's a whole process. There's different neighbor states that they have to go through, starting with the down state and working their way all the way up to the loading and the up state, full state. So yeah, that was pretty dope. We also learned some OSPF commands, some very useful commands that I will be using. So from interface config mode, we can just enable OSPF on that interface. We can set up passive interfaces by default through OSPF configuration mode or router configuration mode. Two very useful interfaces. Also changing the bandwidth. I think I already mentioned that, but yeah, it's pretty dope. I got to use those commands on this lab where I configured the appropriate host names and IP addresses on each device, enabled all the router interfaces, loopback interfaces, enabled OSPF directly on each interface, configured the reference bandwidth on each router, each interface, so that a fast Ethernet interface has a cost of 100. So to do that, I just set the reference bandwidth to 10,000. And then, of course, autonomous system border router. I did that by setting a default route in router 1. So anytime a router in this topology has to leave or send data out to the internet, it'll go through router 1. And yeah, pretty fun lab. Appreciate y'all for checking in.